This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's order. Everyone, please rise for the pledge of dedication. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight to ask for your guidance, helping us to make the right decision for the benefit of the town and the townspeople. Oh Lord, we're here to recognize one of our fellow members, longtime mayor, served on the Utilities Commission. And God bless him and thank him for all his services that he has done for the town of Greensboro over several decades. We really appreciate that. Lord, please guide us, keep us safe. Please let's keep the world safe again. That's this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, looks like all the council's present. Review and approval of the meeting minutes, draft minutes for the regular meeting for June the 10th. Everybody had a chance to look at them?
I've been a couple questions. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I'll second it.
As
Yes. It wasn't anything but spelling or anything.
any other discussion? Everybody got copies of the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained, motion carries. Treasurer's report.
Hold on, no, I did have a question because didn't we have an executive session and we did not have minutes for that? So we need to catch it next time or didn't know to take them. We had an executive session.
I'm looking at Kim. See what
Yeah.
she's got. to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, I'll get them for you.
Okay, so we'll do that at the next
And
meeting.
what's
I just wanted to follow up on that.
Sounds good, sir. Okay. Treasurer's report.
Sure. Okay, so at the end of June, the general fund has a balance of $1,987,210.14. The water fund at the end of June had a balance of $739,826.16. And the sewer fund had a balance of $382,011.11. As far as the CDs that the town has for our investments, Brian did make a notation that the interest doesn't post on the ones that we haven't pulled until about July the 7th. So that'll change and be updated for next month. But other than that, the CDs that the town has currently has a balance of $2,335,122.11. The other accounts that we have are restricted funds. It's a money market that we carry out at Middletown Valley Bank. It has a balance of $420,950.60. The American Rescue Plan Act funds that we hold at Middletown Valley has a balance of $2,381,386.16. The water fund user fees money market has a current balance of $2,469,028.98. And the sewer fund user fee money market account has a balance of $103,079.47. That is all of the town's assets at the end of June.
I have a question.
Sure.
So since we did move ARPA funds into the water fund user fee, I was great for making the same interest rate in that account as we are in the other money market. We would be foolish to move it.
Yes, currently we are, but keep getting phone calls that we're gonna have to renegotiate, we don't come back, so.
Okay, I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
so far,
And then
we're
I
good.
did notice there was a small difference in the beginning balance from last month's reports to this month's in the water.
Say that again?
So what our starting balance in the
Oh,
water fund
okay.
differed from our ending balance. I mean, it's 659.93. Noticed that. I didn't get to look at the other financial placements today.
Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report with correction?
I'll move. Take motion.
Do I have a second? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries. We now have a presentation for Stu Mollendorf. He used to be with their, or still is officially, our utilities chairman. Would you all like to join me up in front of the club? You make it okay, Stu?
Yep, he's got it.
Let's get up. Yep. Is the council and family going to join with me? Sure.
You're making a picture. Take it.
Council, let's join me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let us do it.
Don't be bashful. I ain't funny. Certificate of appreciation presented to Stu Mollendorf with sincere gratitude for your extraordinary services and dedication in serving as the chairman of the Boonsburg Municipal Utilities Commission. Thank you for hard work, leadership, and commitment to making our town what it is today. Presented this 8th day of July 2024, town seal, Howard W. Long, mayor's signature. Stu, congratulations. Also, where you realize it or not, it's been a few years ago, but Stu was one of our mayors too at one time. 48 years.
Don't tell how long ago it was, because I remember that.
Yeah, I do too.
Congratulations. Appreciate all the hard work of all our.
It's been an experience.
Can we get Colin and Chad and Lauren to come up from the BMUC and grab a picture with you real quick?
Can we get that picture too, John? Oh, sure.
Is that good?
Stu, when you're a celebrity, you gotta get lots of pictures.
There you go. Get you guys up here.
Did you have a game today?
No, I had
Volleyball camp. Oh, my niece is playing volleyball.
Lord, you're short.
It's all day.
I'm short.
That's vertically challenged.
That's right, you tell him, Ricky.
Thank you. Council. John, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Stu, for all you've done.
Look at it later. Great.
He looks like a little Alan.
Oh, thanks.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah.
That's what I'm figuring you did. You babysat all these kids.
Even?
Pardon?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Why you want to stay for all this stuff? Exactly.
Party's just started.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, now we officially, in the public meeting, have not appointed our new chief of police, which is Dave Reiser. Congratulations, Dave. Thanks. We appreciate all you've done and looking forward to working with you as chief now. So to make it formally, do I have a motion to accept Dave in right, public meeting as chief of police.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion and a
fight
second.
over it.
We have a motion and a second. We already have a motion and a second. You split it.
How about a third? And then we just-
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained, motion carries.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Dave.
Dave.
Thank
Like to
you.
say a few words or anything? No. Glad to have you on. Good luck today. I know you'll do a fine job for us. Also, too, like officially announced tonight, our new town manager, and she's with us this evening. Don't mean to embarrass you there. Rachel Salvers will be starting with us in, what, 11 days? Next Wednesday, week from Wednesday, 17th. Welcome aboard, Rachel. We appreciate you. Looking forward to working with you. Do you have any comments you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was late.
You wasn't late. You wasn't late. Thank you. Okay. Public comments. Did anybody sign up for any public comments? Somebody does.
Again, my concern with the maintenance at 50 St. Paul. I thought I had sent in a request about the maintenance of it, but it got lost in the July or whatever. But anyway, I just have a picture of one of these.
Oh, okay.
A big old black snake. I should just snake through it.
Okay. Have you seen this, Drew?
Yep, I have a whole bunch of information on it.
Okay. Would you like to speak up?
Okay. So I've got a lot of calls from people up in Valley View. Went back digging through the records, going back to 2007. In 2007 and 2008, there were multiple meetings held with residents from Valley View Court, specifically Barbara Reeder.
No, this is different.
This is different.
This is different.
This
This
is,
is this in the St. Paul.
Oh,
yeah.
No, think about that one. Nope, I don't know anything about that.
We know there's an issue.
I'll give you this picture. with me. You can discuss the other section.
Yeah, there is,
Okay.
Yeah, this is the house, right up the alley. Straight up. the
Kind of
alley.
like.
He was on
top of
vacation,
it.
so he may not have got the
That's
information.
fine.
So
I
We'll
just
give
got
it to him.
down.
That's fine, we'll give it to him. Okay,
Oh, I do have one other public comment that someone said something to me about, wondering about, are we keeping up with enforcing the chicken ordinance? Number of chickens in yards, are they were getting their permits annually,
no roosters.
no roosters.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one back in there.
Yeah,
Back. I never attacked on Thompson.
I was back here this morning, I heard, I know exactly what it said.
Oh, okay.
Who's responsible for that?
yes, maybe you get to be the lucky one.
So if you give an address to, Drew, so he can send him a letter.
I'm sure there's a lot of
Yeah.
people out there that have.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of it is people don't know they have to do that.
Right.
they
Well,
know.
it's been in the newsletter.
So, again,
Got
I'm
the
just,
chickens
know,
and needing a permit and all that.
Yeah.
is that someone?
No more than 3 chickens.
Yeah, so,
And no roosters.
We have at least 9 chickens in there.
One house? Okay. Faculties report, Public Works Superintendent, Greg?
I will start with the water distribution side. We finished the flushing of 200 plus fire hydrants and the maintenance of them. Every fire hydrant in town is good working order, it's good to go. The sewer collection side, 2 weekends ago, we had 2.5 inches of rain. It's a lot of I&I still getting into the sewer system. We'll keep those because it's a plant too, but we just gotta keep up with the line in these lines because it's just gonna get worse as we go. Just want to give you guys a heads up so you know. On the public works side, Williamsport took out 12 loads of their hopper from the streets, from the street sweeper. Yes, I mean, that was even cars that had to go around. So it actually took them 2 days to do it. to complete all the streets in town. Curb to curb.
So
So,
once they get used to the streets and doing it once a month, they'll get used to it, try to be able to do it. Thanks for.
yes.
So to ask the question, because I know this was an issue back when we had the street sweepers and stuff. So they're only doing streets where there's curbings.
No, they did all the streets.
So they did all the streets, because that was a complaint the last time, don't you remember, streets that didn't have curbs weren't getting done?
Yeah, they did
That's why I'm
that.
asking.
Also had to go, they did the Fergus paved parking lot, they took a whole load just out of that one farmer's worth of parking lot.
When you say a load, how big's the load?
Oh, a ton, probably a ton and a half
Okay.
of material. And there's probably, look at my, you know, right south of our dump truck, there's probably 5 dump truck loads out there.
Supposed to dust for it, or?
It's trash, dust, cigarette butts, yeah, a lot of stone,
That's a nice pass for the 2 trucks on it.
yeah.
So my question is though, it's in all streets, because not all the streets have no parking, just Main Street.
Yeah, Main Street's the
So
only
we
one.
just, okay, so we
Main
just go
Street's the
around
only
on the
one.
other.
Go around on the other.
Perfect.
And the only ones that, give them one more grace period this month, and then, starting in August, for parks on Main Street, you guys can tag.
They did a good job keeping water down, unlike the last contractor, it was good dust.
Yeah, they did use water this time too, where last time street sweeper had contract with, he left the dust ball.
Okay.
And he swore he used water, did a great.
I turned it in a bit,
Good.
they used 1,000 gallons of water. They used.
Thank you.
That's good.
Hey, Cruise for Kids and July 4th fireworks both went over very well. There's a lot of people down there. I saw some drone footage. There was as many people down at the police department as there was up at Shaker Park. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was nuts.
I will say we did have a minor issue with the parking lot across from my house not being open.
Well, that's the fire department.
I know.
They missed the golden opportunity to make some money that night.
Well, their temporary barrier was pushed down and people parked there.
Yeah.
So I would just want to say maybe we need to, I don't know if the town needs to donate or if we need to ask to make sure that people can park there, but I think that kind of bent up their post in the rock. You know what I mean, that's there.
I thought the fire department would open that.
I know, and I don't know whether it's because we didn't request, someone forgot. I don't know exactly what the agreement
They
is.
went out about 20 minutes before everybody started coming in, so I don't know if that's the
Like
reason.
I said, I went and put a cone over the thing they knocked down with the chain because I didn't want somebody to
Yeah,
drive
that-
over and get a flat tire.
Yeah, that gas thing is bent.
Yeah, yeah.
The
That was
fire
the
police took a
benefit.
picture of the vehicle that did that and gave it to the fire
Good.
with the damage of.
I guess we're lucky we even have them there for the, standby for fireworks, because I went up and asked them about 1, 2 o'clock in the
Oh,
afternoon.
gosh, you can.
And they said, oh, we think we got it.
Okay, so maybe, I don't know whose tickler file we need to put it in to handle
I'll just say,
arranging fire police and making sure the parking lot's open for next year.
I'll just remind.
Because I think we all just assume it. and sometimes it slips through.
Cindy couldn't get a hold of Vernon, didn't he? Did somebody say something
Yeah,
about
but they're not talking about running around.
The other Vernon.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll say something, right, Abigail next year. They're missing a golden opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't charge and do some people, but
They're always complaining about not having funds. That was a golden opportunity to make some that night. All you really need is 2 or 3 people.
All the next thing is all the paperwork for the E, it's been turned over to EAPS for the lead and copper, so we'll be good for MDE come October 16th of this year. We have pretty much all of it done, so. Then the next thing is the parking lot. What do you guys want to do with the parking lot down at Schaefer Park from the carnival? He came down, he tried to clean it, he could not get it all back up. And what hurts me the most is he was told, we were sitting there mowing, we told him that he was leaking hydraulic fluid. He drove through it for 24 hours before he decided to put stay dry in. So I do not feel bad that that guy has to.
What's your opinion, Craig?
I would reseal it and make him restripe it. He's got all the arrows tore up down there. And it's not,
Good idea.
That's a good idea.
I would put it on, don't put it on the ambulance company, put it on Ryan.
Right off. Yeah. They're the ones that made the mess.
We just paid that parking lot 2 years ago. And it looks like hell.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah, it does. I agree with you.
well, I could tell him that what he cleans is not acceptable. how does he want to do it? Does he want to pay a company to come in to clean it and restripe it, or
He already
is
said he
it
was not paying,
insurance contact? And-
said he was not paying a company, but he's got an attitude with us and rolled out. We even let him hook into our water with this big machine. He had a big steam cooler down there. Tried to get it up. He's got an attitude. He blamed it on the ambulance company. He said the 30,000 cars that they parked in there, they did not.
They didn't work for
I
us.
said there was 5 maintenance guys standing down there and watched their truck leak on
Oh
them.
my gosh. That's car don't leak on road.
I would contact him and tell him we're not satisfied with it, and we want to put back the way it was.
You'd have the attorney draft the letter to
No.
them.
I would draft the letter because I've already told him that. I told
But
him that.
who signed the contract with them, us or Mary Jane?
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
I think if the attorney draft a letter, then
Contact Dan tomorrow morning.
If not, we have Antietam paving come down because they were the cheapest to come down and reseal it.
Okay.
But I'm fine with them doing it, I just want,
Yeah.
I feel like that
Yeah.
we need to be reimbursed for their.
I agree.
We definitely agree.
We want to fight it, of course.
Absolutely.
Greg, is resealing over hydraulic oil really going to work? It doesn't work when I try it once.
They put degreaser down and used a big steam cleaner, but you can still see it's there.
Yeah,
They don't make it look a lot better. They put all the lines back that they messed up.
I made a big mess one time, it was very hard to seal over there, but you can still see through it.
Yeah.
You seal it. Yeah, it took about 3 sealings.
And then the last thing I have is no start date for the blacktop yet. Blacktop prospect owners. As soon as I hear something, I'll let you guys know.
Okay. Anybody have any questions with her?
No, thank you, thank you.
sir. Water and sewer superintendent. Pete?
Well, as for the water side, everything's running pretty good, smooth. No problems anywhere. We're good as with the well now. We have one more test performed yet. We need another dry test. We gotta, as you know, we gotta wait a month in between it, so it's been a couple of weeks now, so I think we still got 2 more weeks to wait on that. And with the skies, this weather's been, we should have no problem getting a dry test pretty quick after that, so.
So you're ready to do that?
Yeah, until you're ready, then you know.
And then once we get that final test done, and then MDE will look over all the paperwork and stuff that Phyllis has been doing the testing, look at all that, and they'll make a decision on how we want to tell us how we can, what we're gonna have to do with the well and what kind of treatment and stuff. Other than that, then once we do that, we hook up, we'll be good to go, as long as we got them done. As far as the sewer side, everything's running good now. I mean, the last month, we had 2 issues. The transducer down in the south end pump station go bad, so I had to get that replaced, got that fixed. And then we had a couple things on the main panel that runs the whole sewer system out there, went down on me. So we had to deal with that for a little while, but we got to finally figure it out. I got pulled off the roads and talked with the representatives. They talked me through everything what to do on it, change some input cards on it, got them done, and rebooted the whole system about running right now, so everything's working good.
Because of the heat. Did the heat cause it?
Yeah,
Probably just
I think
age.
it's the power surge. Honestly,
Yeah.
all these power surges.
So is there something we can do to protect?
We have stuff out
We
there,
have power
but as many as we have around here all the time, it's just constant. I mean, you probably have at least 1 a week, and sometimes a couple. We'll always have, come in and know the night because of power surges. And power just breaks, it just sets everything off. It just puts a jolt through everything, so. You're talking a lot of power out there, so it takes a lot to keep it up.
Have we asked the time to gather them?
They have been trying to solve this problem for years now. That's why they did some work on the station up there on top of the hill here. It's not working anymore.
I mean,
I think with all the building work, the building, everything's going around here, the whole area, it's just going too much juice in it. So,
I mean, don't they have some obligations to keep like, not like essential equipment? You know what I mean? Protected to.
They did do an upgrade up there.
it worked for a little bit. So it worked for a little bit, then 2 years after we did it, it just started all back up again. It's just as bad as it ever has been.
We can get a hold of Dave Klein, see where they pull the strings. It was one day probably very late, to do something in the past, but since they moved everything to Ohio.
Yeah.
It's like.
I understand everything's pulling teeth, I'm just saying it might be worth doing some reaching out.
We'll reach out.
Hopefully they need, or if there's something, you know what I mean, because if we're gonna be down and buying equipment.
Hey, wait a minute, 208 break down to park on July 4th. Right before we get ready to start, we had to interview and change it out. 208 breaks from that surge.
Also, Pete, have you heard anything on the Blue Cross?
I was just going to tell you that too. I'm still not heard, but when the last I spoke to him, we said that the only thing they gotta do is overlook it again, put a little clause in there that we can't land the fire anywhere. Anything we can do is take it to the landfill, but they figure out what they're gonna do with the PFAS situation. Once they figure that out, but he's gonna go ahead and give us a permit. He said we got it. He's just got to smell it to me or bring it up. Yeah, well, he's told me, let's bring it to me, so.
That's good, because I talked to MD down MML, and they told me they would check into it, see why we haven't got our permit yet.
He told me that I'd be a few more weeks. That's been a few weeks now, so.
But at least they got the ball rolling.
Yeah, he said we're good to go.
Good, good, that's good to hear. Anybody else have any questions? Cal, Drew?
Hey, you guys should have received the planning reports and the zoning reports. I'll just go over summaries. If you have any questions, please stop or ask any questions. I'm just kind of hitting some highlights. I'm not going to read the report. Major subdivisions, Battlefield Estates, as I told you before, they had an approved set of plans. But all the planned permits with the county had expired. They went to renew their plans, and now the county planning department is telling the developer that the original FRO requirement, where they were going to get to pay fee in lieu of, the county is now saying that they have to actually do plantings on site, which would require the entire subdivision to be scrapped and redone. The developers reached out to us to find out what our records say. I found records that say they already gave us an approval. And now apparently they're taking another bite at the apple. I haven't reached into it yet, but I've been asked to look into it and find out what's going on. What's y'all's desire? Do you want to go with what they have previously approved and not let them come back and get a second bite at the apple, or you really don't care? Let them have a second bite at the apple. It takes Battlefield Estates out of the picture for any near-time development and could kill it.
I would question why. I'll tell you what, I'll come in tomorrow and we'll make some phone calls.
Okay. I mean,
You free?
it's just, that's where it sits right now. So just so that you're aware of that. Battlefield Estates, we just talked about that. The preserve at Fox Gap Easter days. They did get all their permits. We had a pre-construction meeting 2 weeks ago. They were supposed to start today. I got an email this morning about 10:30 saying that their contractor is being held up and they won't be starting until 22nd of July.
So it's same old, same old.
Fletcher's Grove, Chase 6, campus realignment. State Highway has approved the construction plan, but they're still waiting on the traffic signal approval. So they're still waiting on the traffic signal. The construction plans are approved. That's good. It's a good thing. We're still waiting on the signal. I do have a meeting. We're trying to schedule something with Scott McElwee and myself. I know Howard, I told you when we met. Mr. McElwee, we set up tentative meetings, but if it doesn't rain, he's working. So that's kind of what happened. But we're going to try to meet either this Wednesday or Thursday and talk about all those items. Again, we can't record the plats yet. We can't transfer property, but we can lay down how we're going to take care of this, as well as the cash offer that we had talked about. As far as infrastructure projects, the reservoir, related to the reservoir project, that will be going out for bid this week. So that's going out this week. Related to that project is the high pressure line for Crestview. We did ask State Highway if we could hang the water line on the bridge. They denied it. Little backstory, they denied it because they didn't have plans on the bridge. Andy Cooper called me back. He said, we designed it. We have the plans. He said, do you care if I reach out to them quietly? So go ahead, see if you can get something. That was before I went on vacation, so I had to put a phone call into him today to see where that went.
Which bridge is that?
The one over 34, right across from Terry Packard's place. If we don't, we've got to then go through, you've got to offset. There's a stream there. That's what we've got to cross. You're going to have to jack and bore underneath it. You're going to have property owners on both sides, which is the Crestview Homeowners Association. That'll be fun. And you're in a floodplain and a whole lot of other reasons. So being on the bridge would be the greatest thing in the world. Again, we asked for an answer. Sometimes the answer, if you ask for an answer that's no, that's the first one that comes out of their mouth, so we'll see what happens. But we do have an official no. So that's where we are. I should know more by the end of the week.
Assistant Cal under the road there too, or my?
You're thinking down the left, down by the, Crystal Grottos, they still go underneath
Okay,
the road.
okay.
Yeah.
They never get down.
Stick road to cattle run.
As far as the auction house, the utility plans are being submitted to the DOUC for the July review. That's where they're gonna actually determine the connections. Now, we've already done rough estimates and everything else, but this is when you're officially gonna approve the plans and tell Mr. Petrio what he needs to pay in water and sewer taps. Again, we've gone through that a couple of times. We have a policy that lets us do that. He's been warned of what the size of the number is going to be, but be prepared, he's gonna have a heart attack. Okay? Because he also has to do that and build a sewer. Last one I have, and it's later on the agenda, Schaefer Park Phase 4, you have those bids we'll get to in a little bit. I think those are just the highlights. Any questions, comments?
Back to Battlefield Estates, my favorite topic. I'm a fan of 48 single-story age-restricted cottages as previously approved. I don't think everybody knows that and understands why.
Because if we go get another shot, we could not, I mean, we might not be able to restrict them to age restricted or something else, right, legally or.
I'd have to go back and pull the file and remember how the age restricted got in there. I think it was to get out of the APFO, but I can't remember specifically. I don't know. All I can tell you is the fact that there are no houses in the pipeline in this county, someone's gonna buy it, somebody's gonna do something with it, even if it has to go back through a site plan. You know, I just don't. There's already been something that has gone through. Again, what are your thoughts? What are your concerns? We can have further discussion of it. I can bring the plans in. You can take a look at it. But, you know, I'm just telling you what the developers are telling me. They want to move forward with their approvals. They went to the county to renew their permits, and all of a sudden, the FRO got thrown into question. Something that was previously said would be fee in lieu of. So when you do FRO, forest reforestation, you have one of two choices. You plant on site to make up for the trees, or you can buy fee in lieu of. You can purchase trees at a 2-to-1 ratio somewhere else. And there's lots of reasons for that. You want to plant trees where there's steep slopes, by streams, floodplains. These are all good places. Steep slopes, all that kind of stuff. You know, Orchard Hills, Battlefield Estates does not have steep slopes, valleys. It's the old London Fog Factory.
Yeah.
You know, right. So it was kind of like no big deal, fee in lieu of, and what was being discussed at the time is that the trees or the fee in lieu of that would come to the town of Boonesboro to plant trees in the park and in some of our other easement areas, right? By witness. I don't know the details of why Travis is saying, he's the planner that reviews the FROs, is saying, no, you gotta plant on site. I haven't even stuck my nose into it. I just had the engineer reach out to me and go, what's going on? I got an approval from the town. I got an approval on FRO from the county. Now they're changing the rules.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't Boris beforehand, it was a big factory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're not reforesting something that.
And some jurisdictions do this, and Washington County is really guilty of it. It was an issue I had when I was on the planning commission. They treat the FRO like the Bible. I mean, you don't violate that thing to any degree, and that's what usually that holds up people is the FRO. I'm not against FRO. I get what it's for. I understand what it is, but it's in some counties, it almost gets wielded as a development tool. And that's not really what its intention was ever supposed to be. But again, if y'all want to, Howard and I, if you want to sit down in the morning, we can call.
If, you know, the plans were approved and that was the agreement.
Yeah,
made, that's
why did they all of a sudden change? Yeah. We'll call him and ask him.
Right, that's what I'm gonna find out. There may be a completely legitimate reason that I have no idea. Maybe the law changed. I don't know. This is one side that I read an email when I came back from vacation. I'm like, I guess I better look into this one.
Yeah.
But I'm looking also from your guidance as to what point does the town take? Is it, that's a county ordinance within our jurisdictions. We have no say, sorry, we can't help you. But we all know politically you can do things to help. My question is, which road do you want to go down?
I mean, as long as we're not changing the housing and that part of it, I don't, you know, the other part, I'm not, yeah.
Because before they wanted to change that,
Yeah, they wanted to put.
so
Three-story.
three-story townhouse, you know what I mean? Just kind of wasn't-
Only Griffin made a presentation to them that really struck that down quick.
Well, you all have the history, that's why I'm asking. I don't have, I'm just reading what's on the plans and what was approved.
Two 5-acre parcels,
It's two pieces of land.
two roughly 5-acre.
5 acres though, it's still forest. 5 acres was.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chief?
You guys can see the monthly stats report, and the stats were off a little bit this month, comparably to the year and the average per month. Tom was out of the area for 5 days to a undercover school with Indian County. And we also, well, I also was out. That's not common with that. He's on vacation right now, I'm watching you this vacation, he's back Saturday, at which time we started 12-hour vacations, alternating days. And, retired Sergeant Whittington from the sheriff. My first day on the job, I reached out to Sheriff Albert. We have a meeting set up for next Monday, the 15th at 0900 with me and the 2 other chiefs from the municipalities, trying to bring together the police departments to be more cohesive and work together, even with policy and procedure. One of the things that I officially stopped as of Saturday, June 29th, was motorcycle pursuits. I think it's too much liability for the town. We were involved in one, or also already was involved in one. Thank goodness nobody was injured or anything. But the possibility of that is way too high to risk for a traffic violation or a misdemeanor. So we've stopped that. As it stands right now, obviously if a motorcycle robs a bank, that's a different story. But for misdemeanors and traffic violations, we're not chasing motorcycles. And that is that's the state's position and the county's position as well. So if we would be the only agency chasing motorcycles, God forbid one threat that somebody would go. I mean, we would be in such a bad way. So, and I reached out to Mike Hall and tentatively have canceled NTAC as of this coming Sunday, July 14th. There's just no money with the new budget. I mean, we had a major surplus left over in the police budget that afforded us the ability to, contract with them for the last 2.5 months. It's just not there. There is money in the police budget, obviously, for different things. I told Mike that I'd like to definitely see impact here when we have special events. I mean, just maybe even 2 people instead of just one, but it would be for maybe 4 hours or whatever the event would cover.
That was nice of him, he was walking around through the park,
Yeah.
right before the fireworks.
Yes, yeah, that was Jerry McSherry that was on that night, so.
What's their official last day again?
Sunday, July 14th. Yeah, so I had to give him 2-week notice.
Sure.
So I reached out to him last Saturday.
That was in the contract.
Yeah, so,
Tell him, we really do appreciate them.
Yes, they did a great job.
In our
And
purpose.
there's no hard feelings with us, Aaron, Billy.
nah, there's not. Nah, Mike's
And you?
happy. Yeah, and then Mike's a good guy. Obviously, as the company stands, he would love to keep the contract, but he understands.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just not in, under the budget, so we can't do that. I've been walking downtown almost every day I've been here. They're obviously happy to see MTAC or us, either one, so I'm starting to get used to some names now and different members and stuff, but it's a very open community. Police, they're all very friendly. They want you to take something, especially that water or sodas or anything. Yeah, so everybody's always been, just glad to see us. The final thing, we have that part-time position. Mr. Rogers had interviewed for the police chief. Prior to that, put in for just a police officer's job here. He reached out to Amy a couple days after the announcement, I guess, or he found out that he didn't get, I guess, very call people, informed him. He reached out and said he was still interested in being a police officer. And this is just open discussion for everybody here to take up. He needs comparative compliance. He's not certified in Maryland. So that's a 4 to 5 week academy somewhere, usually with a price tag somewhere between $700 and $1,000. So my question for discussion for the council and mayor at a later time would be, do we want to offer him a job? Do we want to offer it with the caveat that we would pay for the academy, or he would do that prior to becoming employed. What pay rate are we looking at for a part-time employee? And, you know, do you guys want to morph that in? And again, it's your decision. I'm not asking for anything at this point. Do you want to consider him for full-time? I don't know that he would take part-time.
I don't know. I've never had that discussion with him. I don't know.
So what did we, how many did we budget for?
We had
Full-time
three,
employees?
I think if we brought him in, because Billy's in the cap, I think we could get through 2025 with enough, and add him full-time. But I'm just saying, then that would become a discussion for 2026.
So we either have to fund the
Yes.
fourth
Yes,
or
or cut it back, yes.
But now we had lots of conversation with some of the candidates and others about this other grant that is for a new position.
Yes. Yes.
But we don't have a new position. We still have a part-time position. We still don't qualify for that.
No, but we have a full-time, new full-time.
But if we have, if we
So if you
created,
created a full-time.
I don't think we qualify for that because we still have an open part-time position. I'll have to look at the grant again, but I really don't think we qualify for that.
Close the part-time position?
That's what I was just gonna say.
But for how long does it have to be closed too? That's the other little caveat we've got to look at to see.
Is the comp grant federal grant?
Yep. Huh?
You know my opinion on that.
I do know you. That's why I'm kind of looking at you.
Yeah, Jack, see how long they throw money, nothing's free. But anyway, I think that in this case, you know, probably you could think, I would say, let's look into if we can eliminate a position and use that grant to make a new position.
I know we can't eliminate a position to use the grant to create a position, so that's what we tried to do a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know how long that position has to be gone before we can use that grant. That's that question I
but
don't
if
know
we're
the answer
having a
to.
full-time, we can still advertise.
But with this grant, I'm just scared with this grant, and Ray knows why. There's a lot of fine lines you've got to walk with this grant.
How long has it been since we've had a part-time?
He's always been part-time.
I know you always have, so.
So it's an open position. It's an existing open position we've always had.
It's gonna
And
be
we-
hard to fill. I mean, maybe Mr. Rogers, because he lives in the area and wants to retire from DC. But I can't say that he'll take it. I don't know.
My understanding with him is that he will come here to work as an officer, he's not gonna be a chief, he wants to come here to work as an officer. But he's not gonna pull a plug in DC, maybe work a part-time job. That may change in the near future.
Okay.
But don't take my word for it. I mean, you know, if it's available, we offer to him, that's great. Don't take him up. That's kind of my thought process at this time. I would say if we bring him on, no matter what, we pay for the cat. Not gonna have,
Okay.
pay for the cats, it's $1,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't we have money in the budget for training under the police?
About 25.
How do we? end
Well,
up
keep
having
in mind, if you're going to
every
pay for an
place
academy, then you're going to have to pay his salary too,
Well, he said,
Yeah.
while he's in there.
And that would
Yeah.
be out.
Yeah.
Right, that's why I was
His rate of
confused.
pay,
when you
he's a
were
lot
saying.
more experience. We need to look at how we're treating our
So we're like Sergeant Whitty thinking that.
Any less, no less than.
Yeah.
Can you check on how long we have to have that position abolished before we can?
I will look into it. Yes, I will look into it.
See.
I will look
we
into
don't
it.
have a part-time position in our budget for FY '25.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we do. We have 3 full, a chief, and a part-time.
But it was the money was there, Tony, I think. because-
We didn't advertise it as a part-time
No.
position in the budget. That's what I'm telling
But
you.
it was added onto the, Tony's right.
I'm looking
so,
at the
yeah.
budget, there's no part-time position that was advertised. We have.
But
That
the
is
salary
not
say-
how it was explained to me at all.
I mean, normally we
We
don't put
budgeted
it
for
as
3 full-time.
separate.
Which we budgeted like at 190. And I think the actual salary budget was 215, which gave us like 25.
214, 762.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, we didn't advertise it as a part-time position, so I don't know where we stand. We just look at it, that's all.
Okay.
If we
I'll look
can-
at it.
If we can run down the grant avenue, I'd like to do that, with create a new position, but we gotta look at a few things.
Sure.
Well, I would say the newly appointed police chief and the mayor and treasurer need to get together and work numbers and see where you're at with your police budget.
It would be
and
nice
what
to
we
have
need
an
to
extra
do.
officer.
A full-time or part-time?
full-time.
Full-time.
Full-time, but now you, okay, I was gonna ask, one question I was gonna ask you is, how is our rookie faring in the academy this far?
So far, I mean, it's week 3, so they've lost 3 total so far. I've been up there almost every day. I was not there this morning, but I've been there every other day but this morning. I mean, he's flying off the radar, so he's not like, nobody's in his head, nobody's renting space in his brain or anything. So
I hope he ends up being the best police officer Boothbrook's ever had, however, experience tells us that we don't know what's gonna
No.
happen. Graduate.
Oh,
So we lose him to some, even though we have a pay raise, there's still a chance. So, I mean, giving him a chance is great. I want to make sure we have an agreement. But somebody offering big bucks, he'll pay it. I mean, that's.
I think he's gonna be here because of knowing where he came from, and what he's done for the last couple of years. I think there's gonna be an appreciation thing here. Does it last for 20 years? I don't know, but I think it certainly gets us 3 to 5 years. I mean, which I think,
That's really.
yeah, and it could be way longer. I'm just, just guessing.
Now, if he turns out half as good as Tom, it would be an exception.
I see no reason why he won't. I mean, I really don't. I mean, with Robbie here, and we're all 3 gonna be FTOs, so we're in the process of getting our own FTO training program, so
Speaking of FTO, we're just gonna need at least 2 weeks, right?
80 hours. Yeah,
Who's, that gonna be you and?
me and Tom, yeah, we're in the process of working with NPCTC to get a lesson plan for FTO. If push comes to shove, we can get run through HCC. So, yeah, so.
Maybe a question for Amy. In the spirit of asking a stupid question, this grant that you're talking about, is that a grant for 1 year's worth of salary or what is it?
I'll have to refresh my memory again, but I believe it's 75% for 3 years. If I just remember in the quick numbers, so 75, they would pay 75, we pay 25, which is right in our, would fall within our budget.
Right.
Pick up the whole, yep. But that would give us time. That'd give us 3 years to get there.
I think as long as that officer is employed by this agency, there's a federal oversight that comes with that.
Okay.
And if we do something and we end up in a consent decree with the feds, I think it's free, but.
Yeah, those are the fine, that's the fine print that I'm pretty leery
So
of.
there's no state type grant.
No.
All right. Anybody have any questions of Dave or Amy? Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Mayor and council correspondence updates. Terry and I attended the Maryland Municipal League Convention conference a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It was quite different this year. Everything was automated. There was no paperwork, no food things or anything. You had a card with an emblem on it, and that told everybody that you were registered and that you could get into anything, got your meals and everything. You were supposed to have somebody be able to shoot a gun at their badges that went in. You know how health is nowadays. You couldn't find anybody. Your schedule, you didn't have a people card, you had it right on your cell phone. You had to download the MML app. After you got used to it, it's very, very handy. It's actually better than, oh, shoot, where did I lay that schedule at? Right? And then you were done. You didn't know what was going on. Very well attended. They had 123 of the 157 municipalities there. It's the largest number of people that ever turned out. I can't remember what the number was. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to some of the classes that I wanted to go to due to commitment with the board of directors. They had some new things going on, and the board of directors were required to attend those sessions. And once we all went in there and sat down, we looked around to see who else was in there. Now we know why they asked the board of directors to be there. I only had 10 people in that room for us. So, but did have a nice conversation with MDE about the Blue Press, and I checked into it, so it sounds like they're getting all rolling, that we can get our permit. That's good news too. Didn't get to talk to the governor, you couldn't even get close to the governor. In fact, the governor messed up the whole first day of the conference by going over 20 minutes on speech. So that made everybody late going through the classes. After all in all, it was a very nice conference. Look forward to the next year. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it this year, but already got the dates for next year. So I'm gonna call council and stand and book me a room, book the same room that we have for MML for the same week. It's odd that Mako has hers Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and MML has hers Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Did you get to the beach?
No, never made it to the beach.
It was sharp.
Yeah. Carol's not that fond of staying. But I didn't get a chance to go to the pool park now.
Were you cut off on the beach?
Terry, you have anything you'd like to add?
One of the classes I went to was police recruitment and retention, and I already talked to the chief about some of the things, and it was Frederick City Police that put it on, so it was it was a nice class.
That's the one was right after the open ceremony, wasn't it? And it talked about fundraising too.
No,
No.
no, this was a very informative class, and I've already filled him in on.
Good.
Yeah.
Frederick has their own?
Yes.
Yeah, Frederick City, Frederick County comes up here, but Frederick City, so I'm still.
Mhm.
They offered us and that's basic comparative compliance. We can do that.
Cost about the same thing as,
I told them they're gonna have to call and ask.
We'll have to look into it. Yeah. Because,
I think I did reach out to them about comparative compliance when I was looking for Mr. Rogers, and they didn't have one yet.
okay.
So maybe it's something that's coming.
that would be nice. Anybody else have anything under the mayor and council correspondence?
I do, I guess kind of bring it down. I wanted the trash switch. Is it going well? I know there's a couple Apple Valleys still around.
So, yeah, so,
Do we have a plan?
we kind of had a couple little bumps. There were, when J&J delivered, there were a couple houses that were like missed on streets, don't know why. Then over in Sycamore Run, they were delivered 2 bins on one of the streets. So they were just like those weird, like simple, little glitches that were easy to correct, because they had contractors delivering stuff. The same Apple Valley had contractors picking up. So there are a few red bins around. They're supposed to be coming around tomorrow to pick those up. But yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, I think there might have been 2 people whose recycling was missed last Wednesday, but they came back and got those. So, yeah, so
And the
so
other
far.
question is, I think we might just need to develop a procedure and policy and then make sure because I'm just curious or concerned, I guess, what the rule is for commercial establishments and the trash pickup, because I did notice, recycling bins at commercial places.
So some of the recycling bins that you would see at commercial places, they have apartments in them.
Right.
So
I just want to make sure we're definitely charging for an apartment for trash pickup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
the
I don't know
only,
how
in
you-
fact,
You know what I mean? It's not fair to charge some businesses and
Right.
not others,
because
not provide.
the vet had called last week asking why they couldn't have a recycling bin. And Yvette double checked, and she said the only commercial property that has a recycling bin is, I'm remembering what the bakery, why is my brain dead? Stoneworks. And there's an apartment above it,
Okay.
so.
I feel like I noticed 2 up at the one on South Main where the bottom was commercial and the top's an apartment, but technically they should really only have 1. But again, if somebody's setting trash out,
Now,
How are we gonna know?
They can call, J&J.
Yeah, which is what Apple Valley did. Commercial owners worked out a deal with Apple Valley, or Apple Valley worked out a
Right.
deal with them where their rates were a little better because they
Right.
were already in town picking up.
So maybe-
And J&J,
Yeah, but
pretty
I
much
doubt
did the
that
same
they would call
thing,
and do
so.
that switch already that quickly for them to get a can the same day as the other. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
double checking. Like I said, to me, it's not fair to make some businesses have a
Oh, sure.
dumpster and pay trash and then others we'd be picking up unless we have
Mhm.
some kind of, established procedure rule of making sure we are at least charging on their
Mhm.
water bill. You know.
Thank you. Anything else? Hearing none, new business, bid results, Schaefer Park Trail, phase 4.
That's weird.
I've also got a packet of information today regarding the bids. Schaefer Park, the issue is the bid award. Schaefer Park Walking Trail Phase 4. This in August 2023, Bluesboro contracted with FSA to design a project which includes 1,700 linear feet of pervious asphalt. This would connect phases 1 and 2 to the original. Recommendation, staff would recommend the board to go to Hunsberry Brothers in the amount of $127,650. They are the low bid within the town's budget for the project. The second page shows the budget, where your revenues are coming from. This is grant funded. This is DNR, POS, Community Parks and Playgrounds. You have 148,000. Town share of 16. We give you 165. We've already spent 1,570 for design. We got 150 left. Just a little summary of what the project would look like. Have the detailed plans if you'd like to see them. And there are which bids. Hunsberry Brothers was 127,650. RFP 8 was 162,160. One thing we did with bids this time that I don't see done very often, but we start doing this regular. We do unit cost and quantities. That way I can check quantities between the two contractors and make sure somebody's not missing something. Or somebody's not using the same material, or it's not apples or oranges. Or better yet, if there's a change order, I know what the unit cost is. So it makes it a lot easier when you get to the change orders, and it's just not sort of. So that's the information on the bids. That's all of it. The only thing you have not seen are the detailed plans. Any questions, we'll be happy to answer, but it is to the mayor and council for a decision as to whether or not you want to award this project.
It is.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Do I have a motion to accept one of the bids?
I'll make a motion. We accept Hunsberry.
We have a motion on the floor to accept Hunsberry's bid. Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. Hunsberry's bid. Okay, wait.
127,650.
Any other hearing? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, motion carried.
Did they say when they could start?
They did not. They have a requirement in the specs. They must be done by October 1.
Okay, that's good. Recommendation to appoint Boothburn Municipal Utilities Commission Chairman and Assistant Chairman. We have a recommendation to appoint Chairman Colin, excuse me, if I messed it up, Shannon Berger.
Shannon Berger.
Yeah, did you bet?
Yep.
To be chairman. Do I have a motion to accept Mr. Shannon Berger as chairman of the BMUC?
Sure, so I'll make a motion that we appoint Colin as the new chairman of the BMUC. It was a unanimous decision by the BMUC to present at this meeting.
And I'll second. We have a motion, a second.
You accept?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good thing.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second on the floor to make Collins chairman of BMUC. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, the same, abstaining, motion carried. Congratulations, sir.
Thank
you. Now, we also have a recommendation from the BMUC to make an assistant chairman as Lauren. Some people knows him as Lauren, some people knows him as Eric Norris.
I'll make a motion to appoint Lauren as the assistant chair of BMUC. Again, it was a unanimous decision by the BMUC to present here tonight.
And I'll second.
Well, it sounds like a railroad job.
We have a motion and a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those the same, abstain, motion carries. Congratulations.
Do we have a vacancy now?
Yeah,
There are three.
and then we talked about it at the last meeting, put feelers out.
Don't have anybody yet?
Did you talk to the guy in Brunswick that lives there?
I haven't had a chance to.
If you get it, just bring the name back to us.
Yes, sir.
And just to keep it on public record, that will continue to be the secretary of BMUC.
Special requirements, others that are discussions.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
well, she's not a member of BMUC, she's an employee.
So I mean, having no background in it would be preferential, but the reality is it's 95% of the customer base in the town isn't in the industry. So it makes sense to have that on the board as a fair and accurate representation. If the whole board is made up of nothing but engineers, that's not a fair representation of what the town is, so.
True.
Very good. Very good. Good luck to both of you, gentlemen. I know you both will do a very good job. You've got a lot of
We have
years.
some big shoes to fill, but we'll do our best. I think with the, under the tutelage of Tony and Eric, and I had a conversation with Stu before he made the announcement. He said just physically, this is what's taking a toll on him. Mentally, he still feels like he could contribute, but he said if I ever had any issues or anything, I could call him and reach out to him. So it's not like he just abandoned it and walked away. So like I said, between Eric, Tony, Stu, I think there's enough resources that we can hobble this thing along and it'll be okay.
We'll keep you straight.
Thank you, gentlemen.
If you don't, Pete, Greg will. Thank you, gentlemen. Status update, reservoir replacement project.
I stated earlier, it's going out to bid this week,
Great.
and I talked about the bridge water line, so you all are all up to date.
Drew, what's the latest with our county permitting problem?
No movement since our meeting with the county commissioner.
Not to put you on the spot, sir.
No movement, won't respond to WRA's comments.
What do we do about that? They need a phone call from the mayor?
Well,
We may include that
the
with.
mayor said it's coming in tomorrow morning, so I guess we'll talk.
Well, during my wonderful dinner with Colin at Redwood before the meeting, they gave us $1 million for the reservoir, but the nice thing is permit.
But since if MDE approved it, what the county's pulled up.
Everybody wants to work. They're all working remotely.
I think they got upset when I pointed out that the whole thing should be exempt, and I think that didn't.
No thing?
Nobody in the county is supposed to be working remotely. I would love to know if someone is.
Well, I can tell you that at the Register of the Wills this past week, that they're working remotely. and
They're out of,
So.
Yeah.
I
but
mean,
there's a
permitting shouldn't be working.
it's very frustrating.
Greg, did you want to say anything about the water loss on this last quarter? Do you know much about it?
No, I mean, the only thing that, it's hard to, Paul would always make it to where when we have a water leak, he would always go by what the reservoir was from. You cannot do that. If I'm losing 300,000 gallons, say, in a water leak, and Pete's producing that in a day, the reservoir's not going to drop. So there has to be a different calculation, some way to figure out how much exact water is coming out of these water leaks. Because you don't know when it started. It could have started 48 hours ago, and I don't know about it until somebody calls in or we see it blowing about the road. So I think a lot of that 40%, it ain't all coming from that reservoir. I don't care what anybody says. We ain't losing 40-something% of that reservoir. Maybe half of that. The other half has to be coming from when we have these big major water leaks. And I'm just using my best guess, taking the size of the hole, doing some calculations and some math, and just picking some hours. I'm just guessing it's 20 hours. I don't know. I mean, I could be a day off.
But it wasn't just on our side, it was on Edithville side.
No, he needs to go sign too, yes.
So, I mean, it's like, I don't know.
We just need to, there has to be a different way. I'm racking my brain trying to figure it out. Only God knows what the leaks are. Nobody really knows.
Well, that's like how many years ago? were losing water, couldn't find out where it was at, and it was shooting it down, it was going down along 34 into those rocks and into the caverns and all.
You want to know how WSSC figured it out? They stuck sensors on their pipe, where their reservoir's at. So as soon as that pipe cracks and breaks, that sensor alerts to the department and tells them. There's this little tiny sensor. That's how they figured out their works.
How expensive were
They're expensive.
they?
But that's really the only way to do it.
Let's go back to Greg's point, and during Colin and I's professional meeting, the reservoir has nothing to do with keys.
Yeah. The fact that Boonesboro and Keysville's numbers are both going up.
Yeah.
Yes, we do get water from Keysville, but that's a meter and that's controlled. So our reservoir leaking should not reflect in their water loss.
Exactly, so there's something someplace.
But the brothers.
I mean, there's some things like we do, like the meters out in Fletcher's Brook. How many of those, are those starting to show signs of failure?
Yeah, but we've been replacing, they're almost all done, but look great for a certain, we've been replacing our last meter change. Yep, they've all been changed out.
Plus, I think the computer's like 20
Great, you say that as a joke, that's how we found out that that leak over on 34.
There's cameras all the way down
34. She said, I'm getting water in the caverns, I don't know why.
All the meters have been changed out, we hardly have any meters, I mean, 20 years they tell you, is when you're supposed to change them out, like you just say, that's Fletcher's Brook. We have almost all them completed, the last meter change out. So we're not losing in accuracy, that's not the problem.
Stick a hole in Chad's backyard or my backyard and these cameras.
But you would hear it, at a leak detection company would hear that.
Yes.
If you're
I mean, they
using,
picked up one right up here on Potomac Street that wouldn't even put a 5-gallon bucket. It would probably take an hour, and I dumped it up, that's how slow the leak was, that's how big it got.
Thank you, gentlemen. Recommendation to update the town employee's job description and pay for personnel committee. Who wants to speak up?
Not everybody wants to.
So the Personnel Committee has been working on this for like the past few months. It hadn't been updated for, what, 2 years?
3 years.
3 years. So we went on the US Bureau of, can't think of what it's actually called. The labor, thank you so much, labor statistics. And looked at the Hagerstown, Martinsburg, Maryland, West Virginia area to kind of come up with where the pay should be compared to what it had been.
Then we looked at everybody individually, went down every employee, the entire personnel committee, went down every employee and looked at, when they started, what their current pay was, and try to get everyone spaced out evenly based upon time and service and what their position was. So this is basically a new base.
Right. And we added the municipal service worker 1, 2, and 3 to it, as well as the operator 1, 2, and 3, which there weren't. The trainee positions. What else did we add, guys?
Annual cost of living raises.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And our new policy was for the future, now for this base, so we don't have to keep coming back in here and talking about so-and-so needs to raise this and that, and we can have a standardized way to merit and all that.
So basically, this is job description, pay grade, is so that we have a good idea where to start people during the hiring process. So we can let people know kind of the pay range
And we're competitive.
and competitive.
And then the other thing that we added is the total benefit package line. Everybody talks about what we're gonna pay, everybody said what we're gonna make, but, you have to remember that what we're contributing to pensions and insurance and paid holidays, I mean, the benefit package is the number that we have to sell when we hire somebody. So it's not just a number, it is the package number. So, as everybody has stated, we did some research. We tried to come up with the new pay area scale so that we can start to look at it on an annual basis and adjust it accordingly. And we're looking to do maybe a cost of living, depending on where we are in the economy. It's not going to be a guarantee, but, it'll be something that's going to be looked at.
And I know some of these look like they might max out, or it looks like they max out at a lower rate, what we're proposing than what they currently are. And the new numbers are just like a base, which will, right, it's kind of like just a starting area, which will be looked at every year to keep it on a better scale than what we have been
I had
doing.
a question. Kim explained it to me very well. I noticed there's about 4 positions. Top pay actually was lower than what those people are making right now.
Well, what the pay range is right now.
What the pay range is right now.
That's what we individually look at everybody.
Those people will not be knocked back to those wages. They will.
Oh, no.
will still keep
No, there'll be
those
no
wages.
decrease.
And if we have a cost of living increase, will go along with what they have currently, and plus their review will be based on what they're currently making.
Right.
So we're not sending anybody back.
And we also brought up, there's a lot of the positions that started at $13.25 an hour. I mean, that is ridiculously low.
Yeah.
And
wage
minimum wage is 15 now. So that was really what speared the discussion, to look at everyone's, all the position wages.
And this is going to be reviewed on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
Well, I would suggest maybe we should review it February, March,
Well,
so
we
we have
have to-
numbers for our
Yep.
next year.
Right, because in
Yeah.
January, February is when they put the cost of living out.
That would be a good time to review it in January.
You know, when we
Yeah.
have-
So that
if
we're
that's
talking
the
about the
biggest
budget, yep.
plug in your budget is
Yep.
payroll.
Exactly right.
Yes, that's exactly what we were talking about today. This whole thing should have maybe been a separate presentation for an hour or something like that. The fact that we're trying to make sure I understand. If previously we had a job that the pay range was 80,000 to 150,000, but now the new pay range is 80,000 to 145. Nobody is losing dollars.
No.
Because we have nobody at cap now. But next year, when we relook at it, the 80 to 145 will be extended again. So nobody's losing dollars. It may appear that the job you're in doesn't go as high as it used to, but it'll be relooked at every year, and the cap is stretched according to the cost of living.
Exactly.
Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Every individual, because the worst case we're gonna
I
have.
thought we were penalizing other positions.
Oh, no.
Well, that would have been a greater version with someone who would have more talent and less than somebody in that same job, those kind of things. And when you reorganize, that's always a risk of taking. So we look at every single person, write down the list and make sure that.
Which is exactly what we did. We did every single employee.
I don't want to do that.
No.
Can you explain that to me again, Councilman Kitchen? Because that job was scale was one of them. I lost $2 for my top hourly pay. So right now, I can't make what I used to be able to make it to this new pay scale. I actually lost $2. I mean, I didn't lose $2, but I can't get up to what I used to be able to get up to.
No, you will be able to.
You'll be able
Every year,
This
the cap.
is going to go up.
It's not gonna stay, this isn't gonna stay forever, Greg.
I just saw it because when you compare, you gotta make sure we're unique in most towns. most public works departments don't take care of water and sewer.
Yeah.
So our public works guys are not really doing public work stuff, they're doing water distribution and sewer collections. So we gotta add that, and I just saw 3 different positions in there that lost it, so that's why I asked you.
Yeah. Well, I took those to my attention too. I saw it too. That's why I contacted Kim and tried to get it explained to him.
Yeah,
I wanted to make it perfectly clear tonight you guys aren't going to lose that.
No.
yeah, let me try it a different way, Ray. If your paid salary right now, your range is 80 to 150, and you were making 150 grand a year right now, you were at the cap, but the new pay range is 80 to 145, then you would have potentially lost money, but you looked at each individual employee to make sure they didn't.
Right.
So no one lost a penny in this.
Right, so Greg, we went for each, like, say you
Yeah.
specifically. We looked at what your current rate is, what the median is, and we put you like kind of in the middle of it and built from there. So yeah, so I mean, even though, like, looking at what's in the handbook, what's online, compared to what we're proposing, you're not going, like Eric was just saying, you're not going to cap out. You know,
So
It's
this
not-
year they're going to raise the cap.
Yeah.
Nothing but up, man.
I just saw it -$2, I'm like, well, I'm now gonna be capped out at 42 instead of 44. That's what my concern is.
if you stay with us another 20 years,
Right.
you just keep adding that.
So basically, we talked about this at the workshop.
Yes,
We presented it at the workshop and we had that discussion. And then we said that we wanted to bring it back to our July mayor and council meeting. If y'all approve this, there's going to be other recommendations that we talked about that there'll be some other discussions with employees that we're going to do on a one-to-one basis. So Greg, you have no concern. Promise you that.
Because 2 of my employees are on that pay scale that also said they come to me today, I'm like,
Yeah.
just can't give them any talk to them there.
No, they're not.
So
no, they're not losing anything.
Yeah, believe me, Greg, our intention is to make it better for.
Yes.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
employee retention.
Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Big fan of future employee representation. This is good, especially with this annual cost of living rate.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're on.
So that was my question. So the performance is gonna be based off of you'll still get you could potentially get 7%?
You could get another raise too.
So
Keep up the good work.
we're proposing.
Well, there won't be,
percent every-
also there won't be any more 5%.
Like in Georgia. And then based off of
Well,
that,
they-
review.
Yeah, I'm talking about the appraisal.
Instead of getting 5%.
You get your cost of living. You-
Right, but I'm saying that with the appraisals now, they're 5% gone.
You as a supervisor.
Unless you take a bullet for Howard.
So don't say that.
Or another council person.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the updated town employee job description and pay grades as presented tonight.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to formally adopt the new job description for town employees presented by the personnel committee. Any other discussion?
The only other discussion is who will communicate to individual employee changes.
Yeah, we will be meeting with the supervisors for the departments.
So we're making rest assured, no employees are getting a pay cut.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Absolutely correct. No.
No one's getting paid.
Oh, absolutely.
Fight you on that.
Yeah, so.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries. Anything else to be brought before the council?
Kim, when would you think that we have those conversations?
Even right now, or when you give your commission report, Do you mean?
Right now, we've been.
Meet with individual employees.
Kim and I are.
Whenever you're-
First of the week. I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna be
Yeah.
done with everything else that I've been handling with my wife
Mhm.
and her mom's passing. My brother-in-law's gonna be out of town soon, so we're gonna be on. Yeah, new schedule, so.
I just think it'd be a nice idea.
I'm calling Doug right now.
Rachel be part of all this.
He's gonna be out of town soon. I'm not saying anything's not true.
So Tony, the cost of living are effective for everyone, effective with the first paycheck, first full paycheck for the fiscal year.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Park board, Rick?
Okay, we met we didn't meet that many, we met June 26th. Under Independence Day, it was a great show, and there was a lot of people saying thank you. A couple people complained about there was too many gold and not enough purple, so we blamed it on Mary Lee. And hats off to Greg and his crew for doing a good job to keep the park clean that night. And hats off to Officer Tom, just sitting down there, be standing down there for about a half hour. He pulled over about, I think he pulled over 6 cars. 7 when I was down there, just running that stop sign.
Okay.
And there was one car where I think he pulled the tags off.
That's because they didn't have any insurance.
Is that what it was? Yeah, congratulations on that. Don't think twice run that way. That's not again. Concert series, if you're a Gray Matter fan, that concert was June 23rd. They moved that to August 11th. And under new business, the Hagerstown High School Drama Club has been given permission to sell concessions, fundraise during our park concerts. They will also be having a yard sale fundraiser, the lead one on this Saturday.
Yeah, they're going to Scotland,
Yeah,
so
they're
they're
going to
raising
Scotland.
funds for that.
And our next meeting is July 24th at 7 o'clock here.
Yeah, it was very, very good fireworks display, and there was a lot of people in the park, and a lot of people that didn't know, so it's well attended throughout the tri-state area.
Of course, I was carrying.
Since there was not enough purple, so.
But it was very, very good show.
Well, there was 2 finales there.
Yeah.
They had 2 finales, that was great.
And I think we
If
need
you
to
saw,
look
if you saw the
hard.
ambulance company fireworks, they had killed it out.
They were really good.
They did an excellent job. Did you get a chance to get down? Mr. Good show. Anybody have any questions of Rick? Hearing none, June further municipal utilities. Sure.
So the VMUC last met on June the 12th. Our meeting actually started down at the wastewater treatment plant with a demonstration of our new dewatering press. After that, we continued back here to town hall and met in the upstairs meeting room. Old business, Schaefer Park well update. Pete said that Phillips well drilling is starting once again, so the next dry test can be completed after the 4th test is complete. We'll get that MDE ever loving permit. Reservoir update, MDE has approved the construction plan. Of course, you know, at a meeting, the mayor and council approved to put it out to bid. We talked about that more. Scope of the project is set to be 500 days or 18 months. Under new connections, the new connections updates, Battlefield Estate permit renewal has been filed, and we talked about that earlier. With the developer, county, we're talking about things there. The town of Boonesboro has executed the takeover agreement for the use of the bond funds that preserve Fox Gap. Auction House Vantage Brewery submitted to the town of Boonesboro draft site plan to connect to the sewer system. We talked about the policies to connect the town of Boonesborough water and sewer system as an outside of town customer. Mayor and council approved the policy that was submitted by the BMUC. The lead service inventory action plan, we voted on that, and Greg's actually signed the agreement with EADS for a amount of $15,730. Dean South looping, Dean South improvements. Plans include a water loop from Canode Circle, and the cost is going to be incurred by the developer. The master sheet of available EDUs has been reviewed by everyone now, the BMUC, the mayor and council, and the Boonesborough-Keedysville Water Advisory Board. That new available EDUs spreadsheet will be implemented as the new way of tracking EDUs, and it will be updated for them. Crestview pressure reduction bypass, we talked about that earlier. We're running into a little snag there with the approval, so we'll find out more at our next meeting. And we meet again on July the 17th, which is next Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here.
Anybody have any questions of Tony?
I have a question for Greg. So we got this lid inventory all taken care of, thanks to you, bet, right? What the heck is next?
That's it, yeah.
Then we have to fix it or what?
Well,
It don't stop, you like, there's like a 10-year mandate.
right. This is just the final step that we had to get before
Yeah,
October.
Knock on wood, we don't have any. We got some lead packed bills and some of our own cash, but that's it. And that cast line is due to be replaced anyways.
Thank you. Planning Commission. Gary?
Yes. Let's see, I'll scratch some highlights off of the agenda here. We met on June 25th, and Chairman Farmer was out of town. So Assistant Sheriff Jalen Bird ran the meeting. Under old business, still talking about the comprehensive plan, the comp plan as well called. There was a little less discussion about some population information. Drew had indicated he would get some information out after the meeting to the commission to review, which he did. So I assume that will be a discussion at the next meeting, which is waiting this month. Under new business, the subdivision, the minor subdivision plat up here at Mount Nebo Church, where they wanted to basically divide the lot where the house and the back piece of it is. So that got finished and approved. There was a comment about if the house is sold, they will have parking only available on the street now, nothing in the back. Since the back belongs to the church and the front belongs to the residents. So they had some discussion about that, but in the end, they approved the subdivision, just noting the parking situation. As far as the restriping out here at Chase 6 that we had talked about, Drew's contacted an engineer to basically give us a recommendation for that. And I think he said the cost was going to be about $1,000 or less. Seems how he's moving to the computer, maybe we have a drawing already.
So we're having an engineering company look at the road layout. So the idea behind this is you want to have Chase 6, any striping improvements done at the same time or ahead of the opening at Mapleville Road. That is, you're going to have to train drivers to do traffic patterns. So we wanted to look at these intersections and where I think this was just some very preliminary stuff. One item that the engineers pointed out, the intersection of lights needs to be expanded. You really want to put turn lanes in there. These aren't this isn't fully studied and looked at. I'm just saying, but I think we would all agree you're going to need turn lanes there. We all know that everybody goes into lights. Everybody, when you drive there, just does it. Have people put their blinkers on, people going out, not worried about it.
People aren't going to be doing that now.
That's correct.
We're going to be
Plus,
forgetting that.
plus across the street is all commercial property as well.
Yeah.
So we need to think about stacking lanes, and as I told the planning commission, this is really kind of a nice one to discuss, we all have the planning commission to do it. We're actually looking to solve a problem before it becomes a problem. So how does this work? So when we get the final layout, we're gonna find out as we need more land around that intersection. So when it comes time for the commercial properties up there to do their site plan development, they're gonna have to dedicate some land to make the intersection improvements. These are things that when you have other properties suddenly develop, you know what your needs are. Anyway, this was just sort of some preliminary layout, but you can see that what we want to do is get the striping up there. Because right now, everybody up at Fletcher Grove over there is basically in a giant road on both sides. But when that road opens, there is going to be a lot of traffic. And one of the things that, while we're trying to get this done sooner rather than later, is that we can put what we want out there and get the traffic patterns and get people used to those traffic patterns before you get the traffic coming. You can certainly reduce the possibility of accidents. So we don't have a final number yet, but it's something that we discussed. It's something that identifies needs that we have in the future.
Question, like, you don't think any of this is gonna affect like stormwater management and flood over there?
We're gonna have to. I mean, they're
I
gonna have to
mean,
mitigate it any way they have to.
Problem with the county, or it's gonna be something we have to talk about?
Another thought too, Drew, on the, coming in on the left side, there's sidewalk. That sidewalk will have to be extended the whole way up to the crosswalk too.
And this is what happens with projects like this all the time. You have to be wary of. It's called project creep. We go in to solve one problem, and by the time you're done, you're rebuilding the whole road. That's not the point. The point here is a restriping plan and identify future needs of where we can get those. If there's something major that gets pointed out that we need to know about, the sooner we know about it, the sooner we can start addressing it. But the engineers are gonna have to make calculations based on the traffic patterns right now. They'll estimate how much traffic will come down this road. It will be a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It will be a
Oh, yeah.
lot. And the question that we don't know while they're running the numbers is how big do your stacking lanes? Because if everybody's stacking, and now you come into the through lanes, now you're backing up everything to the intersection. Now, all those streets are town streets. Town put a signal. State highways gonna fight you on it because they have signals close to their other signals. But you may find, depending on what commercial goes in up there, that should be a requirement, or a traffic study should be required that any of the developers that go to develop site plans. Because I don't know what the traffic impact is. If you put an accountant in, you got 6 or 7 people showing up every day, that's not really a big deal. You stick a Royal Farms in there or their Sheets, that'll be a different story.
Or a car dealership.
Or a car dealership. That would go. So, I mean, I don't know what would go there, but again, we're looking, it's just nice. It seems like so many things I've been presenting to the planning commission was catching up on things. This is looking forward. So it was a positive discussion. And everybody had very important questions. And, this is something that when we go to do the traffic change, and we get a plan that you all like, we should reach out. I would reach out to the HOA at Fletcher's Grove, talk to presidents there, get information there, that kind of stuff. So that when the changes go in, we're aware of it, they know about it.
Are we gonna run into an issue with needing to have sidewalks on both sides?
We're not addressing what the road conditions are right now. We're just talking about restriping the existing
I
road.
don't know, I mean,
But we should identify that in the future if that's something.
I don't know. I mean, this-
Your development's only gonna be up behind Wise Markets. So maybe from that section to the south, to the intersection, they may mark the sidewalks again. But this commercial side, I don't think you're gonna have that many people walking there, but you never know. The biggest thing is, you're right about the traffic, because when there's an accident on westbound 7, traffic's gonna come off. And when they realize that that's a shortcut over to all the 40 to Hagerstown, there's gonna be a lot of traffic in there. And with that traffic light there and the traffic light up here, it's gonna be a factor.
There will be traffic there, but again, keep in mind, you're gonna relieve a lot of Mapleville too.
Oh, that's
Right now, that's gonna become a much better flowing intersection. And some of that traffic's gonna be, exactly, again, these are all estimates that you do traffic counts throughout the time, you look at it, stuff like that. The point is, the striping that's out there now is, Greg, it's 3 years old, 5 years old.
Can't even see it on the big part.
You can't even see it on the big part. We need to have new striping, okay? But before we start laying down lines with all the traffic that's out there are liabilities associated. That's why you want a professional engineer to design it, explain it, identify future needs, so that we go forward. So you're gonna get a full recommendation back from the planning commission, that you all will have to decide what you all want to do with it. But that's where we're headed. So that's,
Okay, I'm sorry, can you back up 1 second, because I do have a question. So we approved this, dividable lot, and they've got, there's no ordinance you have to provide parking for residential lot. in
You
town.
can in non-conforming uses. In that area of town, a lot of those houses were not, never had garages. There was no
Right,
such
they
thing.
had parking in back.
They did.
So we now have one that like. has no parking.
There's a lot of them on Main Street.
Okay.
that are parked.
Okay.
Maybe it didn't anyway, maybe, I don't even remember what we stood back there. I mean, there was.
Well, they tore another house down that was there.
Yeah.
You know, there was another duplex there, but I mean, that was Tubby's. And I mean, he parked on the street most of the time, but he did have parking in the back.
Yeah, in your zoning code, your planning commission can waive parking requirements.
Okay.
And they
That's
typically
just
do in the
curiosity,
down there.
because that just seems-
Well, that was a debate between the
Yeah.
planning commission,
Yeah.
the planning commission members, there were some that felt very strongly that we need to be very cognizant in the downtown when we do something that's gonna generate additional cars,
Well,
they're
I'm
not
just
providing
thinking,
any parking.
wait, that's a snow emergency road, so if it's snow emergency plan, in effect, they have no place to park people who live in that house. Do they know that?
Well,
But
they
they
had
get
a
parked in
very,
the church
they had a
parking
very
lot.
heavy conversation
Yeah.
at the planning meeting. I attended it. And
Yeah.
I mean, they looked at all the pros and cons and it was,
And as your downtown continues to grow, and revitalize, your parking in your downtown is gonna become more and more contentious as time goes on. It's a good problem. It's not a bad problem. It's like, not like you have vacant stores, you don't have anybody coming. You have people coming, they can't find a place to park. That's a good problem, but a good problem. A lot of that though is just information as to where you can park. A lot of people don't know that unless you're from this area. There's lots of parking around here. You just got to know where to go.
I think that they would certainly be able to park in the church.
Well, that's what-
Yeah, I thought it was, I assumed that they would, yeah. they
I
would-
mean, the church is problem, they have the property, they're the ones that want to
they spoke
divide it,
about- yep, yep.
I'm just saying, wow.
But there was a lot of conversation about that, so it wasn't like something they would just do it. They were very concerned.
Sorry, it's not good, so. It's just under information exchange, through the form of the planning commission, not the walking trail, phase three, that we just talked about here. That has nothing to do with the planning commission, just to let them know what was going on. We also told them all about the sewer connection out here and, it has nothing to do with it, you know, just to let them know. And these things are good, just so everybody can all this stuff. The Greenboro Museum of History, which is the Boston Museum, not the National Oil Museum. Apparently, they want to do something with their parking lot down there. I didn't really get the gist of whether they're gonna turn the whole, pave everything, all the grass up behind there. But
They had talked about that years ago
Yeah.
and kind of using it as their parking lot and a municipal parking lot.
Ray, did they ever decide somebody buried up there was that just?
Oh, there is two.
Just Tuesday was through there, nobody's buried there. There's underground tanks.
Are we sure? Did you
Underground
make it
tanks that they had to get rid of, that they never done. So that's why they didn't like them.
No mind.
They said it was moved there. They said-
Can you tell us if we're parking in a parking lot?
Yeah. Sidewalks, state highway brought that to our attention, well, we can't put a sidewalk here.
King Edward V, I believe, was buried in a parking lot. He was killed in battle and they paved
We
over
just
top of
paid
him.
over.
I was the one that brought that up because I didn't know.
I know, it has been here for a long time. It's been here forever.
Nobody's buried.
Well, I was just supposed to know there's tombstone.
Well,
I always assumed that whole level right there.
I did too.
Usually where the Jeeps
So
go
the
back.
beginning of Fort.
Greg and I were walking with the state people, they caught that there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, they noticed it.
There were no citizen comments and we all read it at the end of the month, once again.
Why would you move someone's tombstone? Now they're making sure they really are buried.
The one in the basement, where they have a little girl in this basement here.
Yep,
Oh, really?
Yeah, sitting up.
yeah, there's a tombstone underneath here.
That's why they're ghost upstairs.
Young girl.
Richard III.
Oh, I think we need to call those people that
Lancaster
come in with the infrared.
Under Carbon.
That's where we put the problem. We clean this out.
Okay, does anybody have any questions of Eric? Hearing none. EDC, right?
All right, got a few things to talk about. Downtown, well, first of all, we had a meeting on June 26th. One thing we talked about was the downtown beautification plan was submitted to the State Highway Administration for approval. One of the things they're gonna be buying, and what was these lovely benches. These out,
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh,
About $2,600 worth of benches, 4 benches. They put out various locations on Main Street so that, you guys can sit in them and have lunch, whatever. Next networking event is July 18th. That's next Thursday from 6 to 8 at Vanish Hall. I'm going to encourage everybody to go. I'm going to encourage you to bring your friends and family and anybody who's got any kind of interest in business, starting a business, project management. Our guest speaker is actually Diana Christie's sister. She owns a project management company, has a massive contract with Walter Reed, and she's a Boonesboro alumni. She's going to be talking about leadership and strategy for execution of this project. She's a project management professional. We have a good turnout on that. It's going to be in the hall, back where they do the concerts. There will be refreshments and stuff provided. It's $10. Check the EDC website if you're interested in which we should already have an invitation from the council. 6 to 8 p.m. Yeah, It's not a breakfast thing. So, and she's also a big thing on professionals, kind of girl boss thing. So if you're a woman professional, you know who you are. Make sure you attend. Please. Anyway, look for a big turnout on that one. Food truck festival is fast approaching. It is September 1st from 12 to 6 p.m. Schaefer Park. We got 24 vendors right now. Got live music, big wheel obstacle course. You guys who know what a big wheel is, what it do? That sounds like a lot of fun. Got the snake guy will be there, the garden tractor pull, the cornhole tournaments, all the good stuff. So put that on your calendar too. That's a must-attend event for the town. Other than that, Boonesboro Town Alliance is officially a 501(c)(3) nonprofit public charity now. Thanks to everybody who helped out with that. Ron Humboldt is going to be running that show. New business here. So I'm kind of call it better in the borough. You all know I'm not a real big fan of savoring the romance. That's not necessarily our official town motto. We don't really have an official town motto. We do put that up on the bulletin board. What the EDC wants to do, what they have already tried to do, is develop basically a marketing plan, okay, for the town. And it's essentially they wanted to spend, and they submitted this to Kim, and Kim kind of told them to hold off and wants to talk to the council about it, okay? So 2 things. One, there's a tagline that they want to get approved. I don't know if the town council needs to approve it or not. I'm going to bring it up before you guys see what you think about it. And then, of course, a marketing endeavor. The marketing endeavor is basically advertising for the town. They wanted to take from last year's budget, which still had $6,000 in it.
Can't do that.
Okay, well, it's too late. I'm saying if it was submitted before and Kim told them to hold off on it. Okay, so that's what they were going to do.
Yeah.
But we came back to get approval from you. Okay? Okay. So there's something they submitted to do. Kim was concerned that it's something should be brought before you, which is very reasonable, and I appreciate that. So it has not been spent. But what they want to do is essentially launch an advertising campaign for the town, which would consist of, they want to spend about 40, what was it, Kim? 40?
it's on the back of the,
Okay, you got that.
Yep.
All right. That includes radio promotions, digital stuff, print media, updating things like for events for the town, and really push the town. Okay, push the.
And this just includes radio.
Now it's radio. It's a digital marketing. It's print, I don't know what you saw over there.
Doesn't pick them.
Okay, which it includes print,
Yeah.
includes, digital, we got a whole internet thing, we got website development, all that kind of stuff. It gets updated, we got a professional marketing company that will be doing most of that. So it's not just, it's not just the radio.
Okay, so then you're talking more money. than-
No, it includes under this one.
It's
It's all
all
included.
included.
Yeah. The $44,000.
No,
What?
that, the invoice says monthly radio and digital advertising.
Digital advertising.
Yeah,
Digital advertising.
it's $4,950. It's no print.
Okay, well, it's-
No, so if we're doing additional print things, we're talking an additional.
Well, the entire package, let's say that the entire package for promoting the town, that's the cost for the entire
That's
package for promoting the town. That's
It's your digital impressions on your website.
That's
I do this
website and everything.
Not any print.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, I'll get some more clarification. The bottom line is it was kiboshed and they were taking it. And Terry just wants to know, one, why it was kiboshed, and it's because
It's not
we didn't
intended.
get through it, right? So I will have Terry and them, maybe come in and talk to you about what they want to do, okay? Because that was, they did a lot of work on this and they're just kind of curious as to why it was.
Well, here's our problem. I love the EDC, but
Yeah.
they seem to bring everything the night of the meeting
Right.
with no previous information to it, and they never say where they're paying for it out of budget.
Okay.
And that's got to stop. And my other problem is, I don't know why it's the town's responsibility to advertise for business. I mean, I get advertising some,
This is why
but
we're gonna do the.
how does this help the
This has to happen.
laundromat who pays taxes, or the convenience store, or Weisberg, you know what I mean?
I think a town can invest
Spending
money
money.
in promoting itself. and promoting
Right,
its business. I don't
you
think
do have
that's
to
a
do
reason
that,
at all.
but again, we have to be very careful, because if you spend for some, what are you spending for others?
Well, nobody-
Why are you charging some for trash? and not
Nobody here is
others?
gonna
We gotta
say,
be careful.
come to the bookstore. They're gonna say, come to Boonesboro.
Right,
We're having these things, so there's never gonna, would never be,
I understand, but again, that's what I'm saying, it doesn't benefit all business.
You're not gonna specifically tag one store.
No.
You're just gonna say Boonesboro. Okay, I got
Yeah, of course.
Right, but it doesn't, again, it doesn't benefit all business.
Well, it is, I mean, if it's just.
No, it doesn't, it doesn't get a service industry.
It's not gonna target one store.
We're not advertising the AT&T.
You're not targeting one store.
Every business.
I know, but it doesn't, I mean, but you understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't understand.
Okay, it doesn't benefit church foods or the kind of, or, you know what I mean, because they're
It
kind of
benefits
a
all.
service instrument. Not really, because people who come to town to eat at restaurants don't get their hair. You
People get their
know,
haircut, they'll go to restaurants. What's the difference? It's all businesses. All businesses. in
I'm
town.
just saying, as,
But they come to
Having
these businesses, they
businesses
see the
own
other
their own
businesses like
I
Sherry.
get that, but it's also, you have to just, it's a
You come to a
fine
museum,
line.
it's everybody.
It's a fine line.
He's in between, he's in the middle of all this. I think Terry needs to come to our meeting.
But that's fine. Terry had called me today and asked, because it was, the request that she had done was denied. And I understand it's reasonable, so I'm trying to present this
Yeah,
the best
so
I
we have
can.
the same issue with the Economic Environmental Commission and their budget carryover. Unspent money in government budgets cannot go forward. You gotta go with this year's budget.
Yeah, they try to do it under the wire in time and not expecting it to be kind of challenged, but because they had it all kind of laid out. And I guess they're thinking that their money, they worked hard on it, decided what they're gonna do with it, and then it got stopped, so.
Terry's
That's
got,
fine.
well, I understand when it's a budget, they got a budget, they have to spend it in that year.
But I
And
think.
they tried to, but it was shut down for good reasons. They shut it down because, thought process needed to come here earlier. So I think the learning thing here is this should have been done earlier.
That's
I think we can all agree on that.
And-
And
But I
told
thought
them
part
that
of the dues where Alliance was gonna be, they were gonna collect dues from businesses too.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm relaying this to you because I was asked to relay this to you guys. I'm an advocate for the EDC, don't get me wrong, but I'm a town councilor too. I want to be responsible for our money. I'm just kind of relaying kind of what we're asking for stuff here. And I will have her come by and try to explain that better on her own. The other thing is, and maybe we'll have to do it at the same time. Like I said, we got this Discover Our History, Save the Romance thing. They don't have an official logo, and nobody wants an official logo, but they want to start marketing, and they want to use a tagline, better in the borough. Okay, now, hold on before you, I know, they work at the head marketing, people look at it, I'll pass this out. This is the tagline, so what you can say is insert something else, instead of, you can say picnics are better in the borough, history better in the borough, haircuts are better in the borough. So you can kind of insert that here and use that as a tagline. It's not an official, we're not gonna make a bulletin board, or not an official thing, but they wouldn't be able to use it when they market on the radio or, in an event, they can use that tagline. They really like it.
My thing was, nobody calls it the borough.
I know.
Waynesburg calls their area the borough.
It is a borough.
They're
And it
the
rhymes.
borough. They advertise as borough in Waynesburg.
So my thought process is we either need to really make a, or have somebody make an official, and who would make an official tagline for the town? Should it be a public referendum? Should it be the Boonsboro Town Alliance, EDC? Who really should, speak for the town? Not all people in town are gonna call borough, not all people in town save the romance. But they want to use this not as an official sign, but as, when they're saying, hey, we got a concert coming up, concerts are better in the borough, that kind of thing. They brainstorm, they all here, and so they think that they want it, so the thought is, can the town council approve them to use that tagline? I don't know if we can or not. I don't know what is within our purview. Is an official thing, or can we say, if you're gonna make an ad, go ahead, and you wanna say better in the borough, go ahead. I don't know. I want your guys' guidance on it. What do you all think about it?
Need to check, make sure, Waynesburg doesn't have a pack.
Ooh,
Because they use the borough all the time.
a lot of birds out there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've lived here for 34 years. I've never heard it called the borough. It's always been Boonesboro. Why do we want to make some I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Well, I would definitely say something that's impactful should be brought forward at a public meeting.
I think it's a public
Not-
referendum.
Again, given it, when I sit down in my chair for a meeting, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I've gotten to ask any citizen, do you like,
I agree.
when I represent them, it's not what I like.
And that was my
Did
opinion.
the savor the romance thing have anything to do with Nora?
Of
Well,
course.
of course.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
See,
That
you
was-
talk about one business and what does it represent? Save a Romance is strictly
Exactly.
targeted.
Yeah, and I don't know how that came about.
And I,
So that was kind of created
Mm-hmm.
back when George and Vicky and all of them were doing the EDC. And we were having events that were connecting the EDC with Nora Roberts and everything. They were working together. So when the EDC started going to the MML Main Street, they wanted a saying. And George and Vicky and that group came up with Savor the Romance, because they had big posters with Nora Roberts stuff on it.
You'd be surprised how many
So
people
that's-
sit beside that big statue.
Oh, yeah,
cardboard
it's definitely an
statue, it's like
attraction and
picture
people
stick.
like it from out of town.
Yep.
I get that for an event. I get that for.
But I mean, we don't use it on anything.
they have the mugs printed
But
up.
the mugs were printed up.
That's only-
That was done by the EDC.
That's only
By the town.
Now, the mural was just redone. Y'all saw that. Right, the mural, the town mural.
Repainted or what?
It's inside my garage.
Yeah.
The side of the garage.
Repainted or?
Just touched up, it still says Save Romance.
Just painted vinyl.
Their panels, their
They didn't
vinyl
change it,
panels.
it's updated.
Didn't change it, but that's got Save Romance. And that's a pretty big deal. You know, that,
A little bit. It looks different.
yeah.
Does it still have the hard gold melon on it?
Yeah, and they just put the vinyl up, they pulled it down, and bring it back the next day.
But it says it's got the Save Romance, and that sounds to me like, I never can tell you talked about it. That sounds like an official town. You start putting on a town building. It's a town building, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds like an official town motto.
That needs a roof.
I'm not crazy about it. That's just me personally, I'll say it anyway.
I mean, and didn't we do a contest for like how we built the logo? You know what I mean?
They did have a contact.
Right. Yeah, well, I'd say we need, my recommendation is, after all is said and done, and I'll get back to it, my recommendation is that these things should be brought before us, and they need to be done in a timely manner, but these two issues should be brought to the council. I would recommend that, I don't know how y'all, I think you have good arguments on that, but I think an official town logo to avoid future, confusion would be something we could look at and even be a school project or, community, have a community referendum on something and get vote for
Hell, I
something.
want to name the turtle down in the pond. I think that should be.
I think so too. I think,
Well, maybe
I
we need
mean,
to do the neighborhood hall.
Yeah, but it's like.
They better check into this because Waynesburg does use borough.
And don't tell them to come to a mayor and council meeting, they need to come to a workshop and present something.
and that's what
We can have discussions about it, then we can bring it back again. It's not just this one and
Yeah,
done.
that's what I was gonna bring up about park board. I mean, talking about that tractor pull, whatever. But they put that phase 4 in, there's not gonna be any more tractor. Do they have an alternate?
Now they're gonna have to make, they're gonna have to find an alternative something, or stop doing this.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do it there.
It's all good stuff. I love their energy.
Yeah.
They're all, it's used to having their meetings. These are 3-4 hour meetings. I'm like, head spinning, but, yeah, so the report was, I told you all the stuff that's going on. These are things I wanted to bring to your attention. I don't expect us to make a vote on some of these. I expect to come up with.
They need to check into that a lot more.
What's in it, or even look at, before using this, really, I would be opposed to an official town motto that the town picks, that the town citizens decide.
Something if it's been.
Boonesboro,
Borough.
the whole word.
Borough.
Or Howard Boonesboro.
Who's buried in the Boston?
Okay.
All right, so I'll have them come in. So thank you very much for your time and go to that presentation here on next Thursday.
Thank you very much. Environmental Commission, Terry.
It's likely on October 8th from 8 to noon. They will, they're gonna still try to confirm it, but there should be fall cleanup that day. The guy that did the glass crushing at Greenfest, he got 1 ton of glass from the 3,600 glass bottles. The town has the crushed glass meant for a walkway. They may use it for a paving project in the Monarch Garden pathway or in the community garden. Pollinator Palooza in fall at Attic Center, September 28th from 10 to 2.
It's better in the dark.
June the 11th, they had close to 500 customers at the farmer's market. And we meet Wednesday. This Wednesday.
That's in the fund.
No, I'm talking
That
about,
was the one we had.
no, this.
No, just during July.
Garbage.
Oh.
Cleanup, I
Yeah.
believe is what they were
So that should take it to the park.
In
called. Oh,
fall.
we take-
Yeah, in the fall, we don't set it.
Fall,
Right,
fall,
yeah.
park, spring, curbside.
Right.
Okay, I got one more thing for kids excited. What's happening with National Night Out? I know Tom said,
We're working on it. We're gathering information.
do we need?
Tom's working on it.
I confirmed with Tom since they're good for the beach.
He's on vacation this week, so
Yeah, I know.
next week I'm sure
I
he'll hit
know
it
he's
hard.
gonna need some help from people.
Yes, we
Yeah.
will need
I
volunteers.
just wanted to know what you need.
I would say that the council plan on doing what you've all done in the past years.
But there's stuff.
There's a dunking booth.
There's a dunking
That's,
booth.
that's on the burner right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You should tell them.
Duncan better. There's a gentleman, I talked to a gentleman the other day when I checked on the fire truck for the fireworks. And he's very, very interested in taking, being chairman of the public safety.
He spoke to me
Did he
too.
come down to see
Yep.
it?
Who?
Okay. I forget what his name is. Do you remember what his name
My
was?
brain is dead currently.
He's big guy, bald headed, has a mustache.
He came
You
in.
mean,
No.
Troy Lloyd?
No, let Troy.
You mean,
Lloyd. It was not Troy.
What? My brain is just like totally.
Terry Balea? Terry Balea?
He's very interested.
I would defer to the police chief.
I think I know who you're talking about. It's a pretty big boy.
Oh, and there are 3 vacancies on the environmental.
And there's one on the park.
It's on your
Not yet.
agenda for
I
Wednesday, I
think we're gonna
believe, to
interview
discuss it.
somebody.
Do we advertise it on our website? Did we?
It's in the newsletter.
Yeah, it's in the news.
I haven't opened mine, but I need to get it up.
And that's another thing that I should probably bring up to you all. There was a mess up with the mailing of the utility bills and the tax bills. When they were stuffing the envelopes, a lot of the bills got stuffed into two bills in one envelope. So there was people that got other people's bills.
Oh,
Yeah.
gee. I had 2 envelopes
So
with
which
one
means
bill.
like the people who didn't get a bill, who got double bills, that person that they had the extra one didn't get a bill.
Can we make it lower if we open ours up? Just that.
Yes. So, and the same thing happened with the tax bills.
I haven't opened mine yet.
Yes, and then also with utility bills, they did not have the EDC's rack card, even though it was delivered to them on time. They
So
had
what
it
are we
there.
doing to correct this situation?
So all of the bills are being resent with, yes, with a letter stating an apology that it was due to the printing vendor that messed this all
Are
up.
you paying for that?
There's no charge for the resending and everything, and there's no charge for any of the postage. So HBP is completely
That's fine.
redoing
So maybe.
So now everybody can ask, well, why is my bill more or less?
And why did I get
Have
2
a lot
bills?
going on.
or 4 bills. Yeah, yes,
So the office phones are gonna go right
yes.
Thank you for filling this in.
Thank you,
in.
Kim. Anything else before the council? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
And then a second, we got a second. We have a motion, a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, abstained, motion carries. Thank you.
Really?